And our second problem is going to be x squared minus 12x plus 35. Okay, let's set up the double parentheses. We know we got to have those. And since it was x to the second power, that's going to be x times x. Okay, then what we want to do is, again, skip over the 12x and let's look at the 35. So let's put 35 up top there. And again, just like on the last problem, two factors of 35, and those have to add to 12. Two factors of 35 that add up to 12. Well, don't have a lot of options here. 1 and 35, but when you add those, it's 36. Okay, I get 12. 5 and 7. That sounds like a winner chicken dinner to me. So put 5, then put 7. Now, you got to get the right signs. You can't just put whatever signs. You need to be cognizant of that. Now, again, I'm going to emphasize this more. This one, this one, this one, this one, circle that. The bigger number has to have the same sign as that every single time. If that number is a negative, you have to have more negatives. So put a negative or a minus sign, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter, in front of the 7. Now, look at what you got. You got positive 35. So if you got positive 35, that means those signs, and I didn't do this on the last problem, I should have, signs have to be the same. When you multiply two factors to get a positive, that means the signs had to be the same. So if that 7 was negative, the 5 also has to be negatives. Okay, now, let's box that up so I don't draw those arrows again. Okay, that's hopefully the answer. Now we can always double check it, see if it's right by multiplying it back out. X times x, x squared. X times, I like to call this x times negative 7. It's just negative 7 with an x slapped on the behind. And then negative 5 times x is negative 5, x slapped on the behind. Negative 7, negative 5, that makes positive 35 right there. Okay, put those two in the middle together. And when you put them together, you got to look. Okay, think of that as being negative 7 minus 5. Negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12. So x squared minus 12x plus 35. Okay, let's compare. X squared, minus 12x plus 35 plus 35. It's good. That's the answer right there. Okay, this is me checking to see if the answer is right. Okay, two more, and then we'll call that a day. X squared minus 3x minus 10. All right. So double parentheses with x and x. Then let's look at the t-chart. Again, skip over the middle term. Let's look at the 10. We got to focus in. This is the focal point right here to get at least to come up with the two numbers. So two factors of 10. Those two factors. Now, hopefully you got this down. Now I want you to put your pencil down for a second. Okay, then I'll tell you when to pick it up and what to write. Okay, let's say I'm going to go last problem. I always put add to 3. Put add to 3. Well, here's the problem with that. Unless you're on an LSD trip or really don't know your factors or something, can't think of two factors at 10 that add to 3. You know, 1 times 10, that's 11 when you add them. 2 times 5, that's 7 when you add them. So, guess what, Sparky? We ain't going to be adding. I'm going to cross out add, erase add, and I'm going to put subtract, and that's what you should write on your paper. Subtract to 3. Now, some of you are asking right now, how the heck am I going to know when to add? How the heck am I going to know when to subtract? When this number here, right, is negative or has a minus in front of it, you will be subtracting, okay? On the previous two problems, this number was a positive, so therefore we added. So now since that number's minus, we'll try to subtract to get 3. Okay, I got 1 and 10, that's not 3. When we subtract those, that's 9. So let's keep going. 2 and 5, the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. Okay, so those are going to be my two numbers that go inside there. So 2 and 5. Now we got to get the right signs in there. Okay, got to get the right signs. You can't just be putting whatever sign you feel like. Well, again, same rules apply. That number, if he's negative, get it on the bigger number, okay? If that number's negative, you got to have more negative inside there. But look at this. when I multiplied 2 times 5, I got to somehow make that so that when I multiply 2 and the 5, I get negative 10. And if you know your negative multiplication rules, you know the only way I can multiply two factors and come up with a negative is if one's a positive, the other's a negative. So they have to be different right there. I'm going to write diff, D-I-F-F, different signs. Well, if that one's minus, that one's got to be plus. Okay, box that. Hope for the best. If I have to erase it, if I realize it's wrong, that's fine. I'm going to erase that, FOIL it out. X times x, x squared. X times negative 5, just negative 5 with the x slapped on the behind. 2 times x is plus 2. X slapped on the behind. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 right there. Okay, let's put those two in the middle together. Negative 5 plus 2. Don't just go 5 plus 2 or you're going to get 7. Therefore, it won't match up. You got to think of that as negative 5 add 2. It's negative 3. So x squared minus 3x or negative 3x minus 10. Match them up. X squared minus 3x minus 10 minus 10. And we're good to go. Okay, so this is actually my answer. This was just me again checking to see if my answer was right. Okay. Last one of the day. Let's go x squared. Let's go plus 8x minus 9. Let's do one. We don't have much time left. Let's do one that won't take so long. Double parentheses. What times what's x squared? That's x times x. Okay. Double parentheses or T-chart. Let's skip over the 8x and go to the 9. So again, 2 factors of 9. And we're not adding because the 9 right there is negative. Okay, we're subtracting to come up with 8. Subtract 2, 8. Okay, this ain't going to take long. How about 1 and 9? Difference between 1 and 9 or 9 and 1 is going to be 8 right there. Okay, so put the 1, put the 9. Now again, that's a positive. You got to have more positive automatically. Automatically. Okay, and then well, 1 and 9 made negative 9. And of course, to get a negative number, the signs had to be different. And since that one's positive, the other one's got to be negative right there. Okay, box it up, hope for the best. Expect the worst, hope for the best. I think this is going to work out though. X times x, x squared. X times 9 is plus 9x. Negative 1 times x, negative 1x. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Okay, put your like terms together. Think of that as being positive 9 minus 1. That's going to be 8. So x squared plus 8x minus 9. So x squared, 8x minus 9 minus 9. And there we go. We have it right there. Answer. Okay, and that right there is how you factor trinomials. Now in future videos, what we're going to do on the next video, I'm going to have a trinomial. Again, that's called a trinomial because there's always 3 terms. Today it was the x squared, there was the number with regular x attached, and then there was the last number called the constant because it didn't have a letter. Now tomorrow we're going to do, whenever I make my next video, we'll be doing the kind of like the same thing, except we have to follow a little different procedure because this time there's x squared is going to have a number in front of it. What's called a coefficient when it's got a number in front of it, but x squared is going to have a number in front of it, so we got to take a little bit different approach. Then we're going to use those to solve some equations and hopefully do some real life procedures. So that's it for today. We are done. This is Hermsen over and out. Power to the math geeks.